I am going to show you the 21 psychology tricks, deceits and ploys used by YouTube, sometimes even the creators on YouTube, and interestingly sometimes the audience on YouTube to get us watching content and more of it often. So let's start with the moment before YouTube. Before you click on YouTube. What happens then? Well, I'm going about my day, yet somehow through habit or automaticity, which means using very little of my mind, I decide to click on YouTube. Though that happens often, it's not the only reason I find myself clicking on the YouTube app. It's equally often from escapism, which is nothing but my want to escape from reality into this fun virtual world of entertainment, information, and sometimes even social interaction. And if that was not enough, comes along notification Pavlovian response, which are those beeps, buzzes or rings, especially from YouTube notifications, the mere sound of which can make us pick up the phone and go YouTubing. Interestingly, it's the same beeps, buzzes and rings that Ivan Pavlov and many of us today use to train our dogs. Yet, the sound of the bell, which the dog associates with mealtime, it's a similar behavior we show when we hear our notifications run wild. Oh, and a bonus behavior that we all understand as the obvious is boredom or procrastination, which is when opening YouTube can give us hope by providing some form of stimulation or even diversion. Now I'm assuming I have enough reasons to open the app. But what happens next? Well, the very next moment, though my eyes see all these videos on the application, my mind only registers and remembers those that confirm with my worldview, which is a form of selective exposure or even confirmation bias that helps me avoid anything that challenges my beliefs. While I would like to assume that I take this decision based on the confirmation bias, but it's not entirely true. A lot of these content creators use urgency or a sense of exclusivity to ensure I pick their video, which means they're using scarcity effect to drive more engagement to their videos. Now, I could only hope that my personal confirmation bias and the creator's scarcity effect would be enough, but that isn't. This is when YouTube comes with its own plan and brings in the paradox of choice by bringing in these little thumbnails in abundance. So I find it extremely difficult to make decisions. More than YouTube, Netflix counts on this paradox, because let's be frank, how much time do we spend on Netflix scrolling through different genres, movies, or even series before we pledge to one? Now that's all fine, but what next? Do you only look at that thumbnail, that title, and decide to pick a video to watch? Or do you take your time to look for some form of social proof? Yep, social proof with those high likes and counts and views or even comments that create this perception of quality and credibility. We all want to avoid all that clickbaity stuff, which is why we also look for videos with some form of promise or intriguing content that will ensure some form of solution or an answer, especially for videos that we find from that search bar. But truth be told, we don't always use all of these paradoxes, biases or traits. Sometimes only experience impulsivity without any evaluation, because there could be a chance that thumbnail evoked an emotional resonance, which is those strong emotions of joy, surprise or excitement, or even attention capture using these vibrant colors and contrasting elements. With all that happening in my brain in less than 5 seconds, I finally decide on a video I want to watch. But interestingly, the next 5 seconds are when I truly decide if I will in fact be watching that video. Let's talk about this. Because now that I've clicked on this video, I can see the perceived time investment I would need to make. Unless it was YouTube Shorts, where the content is much quicker and easier to digest. This is also a type of hyperbolic discounting wherein as a viewer I would prioritize immediate emotional content over more substantial long form. And if the video was from a more popular content creator like, let's assume, Mr. Beast, then bandwagon effect could be huge. The popularity of Mr. Beast videos itself would make it an easy decision for me to stay along throughout the video. But what if the video was extremely boring, yet I have already seen about 70% of the video? Do you mind extending your stay for another few minutes just to witness it until the end? Not because you genuinely want to, but rather you've already invested a significant amount of time. Well, that's nothing but the sunk cost fallacy in action, a cognitive bias we all grapple with from time to time, whether it's succumbing to that YouTube or facing a more intricate decision with reading a book. This is also why commitment to reading a book involves a more substantial investment of time and sometimes even money, and a stronger will to continue. But let's come back to the video I was watching. Now, thinking of the sunk cost, I decided to continue watching this video. Yet, there was something that the creator said that did not agree with me. In fact, I felt this discomfort when the creator said something that conflicts with my beliefs. So I outrightly rejected this video. You see, this cognitive dissonance is highly emotional response to something that does not agree with our beliefs. Yet, some creators have today started to outrightly share opposing ideas to that of the general population, not because they want to be cancelled, but want to make use of reactance, which is this creator's way of provoking a reaction by sharing these outrightly weird views. Now, those views will definitely encourage enough comments, views, or even shares to ensure the video's engagement. But since this video did not do it for me, I had to continue looking for something new, something exciting. And when I found it, it still did not give me the satisfaction I thought it would. That's when I realized this is hedonic treadmill theory that makes me want to continue to desire for something more exciting, and then feel a decline in satisfaction after obtaining what I needed, and then again desire for something more stimulating. Why else do you think I would spend so much time on YouTube alone? Despite this constant battle in my head, my happiness and satisfaction level remained constant. But what about my knowledge? Does it really grow with YouTube? Interestingly, a lot of times we ignore or overlook important information if it's not explicitly highlighted in the content. Like this, that is inattentional blindness. But sometimes it could be because of the awesome storytelling of the creator too. If this creator is extremely animated or popular or a good orator, the narrative fallacy pushes us to ignore the facts in favor of this compelling storyline. And what about halo effect? Halo is this impression, whether it is this positive or negative, of a creator that truly influences our perception of not only the content that they share in the video, but also the views shared. That's when we also see tribalism, or forming of this community around these certain influencers that create the feeling of a sense of belonging or even a shared identity. And most content creators know and understand this, which is why they also use it to their advantage. Some creators overestimate their expertise, leading the viewer to trust misinformation presented with confidence. This is called the Dunning-Kruger effect and seen more frequently in social media platforms, only because social media allows us to create this form of self-presentation. By the way, that's another bonus. And this self-presentation is a carefully curated version of ourselves. But if you thought that this only happened on YouTube, you're in for a surprise, because in this video, I share how music impacts our behaviors.